guys, welcome back. Today we're going to get back to work on this Burton Bobcat 7753. I got a bunch more parts in, a bunch new hoses made, and a lot of stuff to get done. Let's get to work. Now let's get this machine pulled out. Okay, let's get this radiator back in. I put some insulation tape on it so it doesn't rattle about in there. There we go. Now let's get this bolted back in. I'll bring you back in a sec. There we go, bolted back in. Now let's get this hydraulic cooler back in. There we go. New hoses. And these are 1 1/4 or 1 1/8 and 1 3/8. I will put a retainer clip on each side, just so it doesn't fall out. Gotta pop these engine mounts off. Okay guys, I managed to get the pump slid back by unbolting the engine and rotating it to the right. There we go. Hey guys, I'm back. This is a trick so you don't have to start pulling these fittings out to get these bolts in. If your machine's fully assembled, man, this one would be a nightmare to get out. So, you take a 1/4 inch drive, 5/16, like so. That makes life way easier. If you need to, you can use a ratchet one on the back. I'll bring you back once this is all the way in. Now I gotta get this bolted back up in there. There we go. Now I'll get the other ones on and I'll bring you back. There we go, guys. Got the pump in. I'm able to rotate it by hand. Maybe if I can get a grip on it. There we go. Perfect. Now let's get back to work reassembling everything else. The hardest fitting to get to I found so far is this bottom one underneath this distribution valve. It's 1 1/4 inch. I'm changing out the O-ring on it because it was right in the path of the fire. That's brittle. I'm glad I pulled that off. Bring you guys back in a minute. Got a new O-ring installed. Luckily, the other one was really brittle. Now it's time to fish that up in there again and get the new hose on. I'll bring you back once I'm to that point. Okay, I'm back, guys. This has got to be the worst hose on this entire machine. Doesn't look it. From the gear pump, down, and up to control valves. The hose is so stiff you can't get it at the correct angle down there, and you can't see what you're doing at all. There's no access aside from right here. Sliced my finger open pretty good on that one, but it's in. I also got these two hoses on this drive motor replaced. Those are easy though. Let's get the mounts for the centering plate on. And the battery died. Let's get these centering plate brackets on. Centering plate brackets are on. Pull the tape off that. There we go. Okay guys, I'm back. Got those on. Now it's time to put my new pintle lever on. And the other one. Bring you back in a sec. I gotta get these tapped on there gently. Hey guys, welcome back. We got these pintle levers on. New bushings, this lever's new. These guides are the original ones. The manual says just turn them 180 if they get worn. No big deal. This is the old one. Still in good shape. New bushing in that one too. The pump is in. Hose is in. These pintle levers actually are fairly cheap through Bobcat. They're like 30 bucks, 35 bucks. New bushings are 10 bucks. Not bad at all. Hey guys, welcome back. We're getting the fan installed. This is the fan ducting I just washed up. Just tuck it up in there. Let me go grab the fan and get it set in its home. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me still. I just dropped the phone off the back of the machine. Don't know if I broke it or not, but yeah, we're gonna find that out soon enough, I guess. There are 2 braces inside. Wait, so that's a bit of a fiasco to get up in there. That's a bit awkward. I'll bring you guys back in a sec. You're not going to be able to see and getting those back bolts in. First look inside the chain case on this machine. Well, that's shocking. There's still oil down in there. Did not expect that. Oh, that's actually really surprising. I thought it drained all of it out, or leaked all of it out. Yeah, it doesn't look bad in there. No slop in the bearings. Let's get this area cleaned up and resealed. I don't need to do anything in there. Put a new bead of silicone around it. I'm going to close that up. I don't need to get back in there for now. Well guys, I got a ton done. I didn't realize the camera died in the middle of a time lapse. Apologies for that. I got the hydraulic tank in, all plumbed up in there. Fan in. I do have to adjust those lines and put a retainer back in. Lines for the motors, ready to go. I'm gonna keep one side off and purge it Make sure there's nothing left up in the motors. Purge them into a bucket just in case any debris was inside anything. I don't want it in that rebuilt hydrostatic unit. Got a ton done so far. I'm actually going to put the accessory valve on here. I'm going to set you up on a... No, I'm not going to time lapse this. I'm just going to record this straight. This came off that parts machine I picked up, and there you guys go. Knocking over. Okay, there we go. I'll actually keep this computer module off of it for now. I might have to bypass all of the original computer components just due to the fact I don't have the BOSS system that this machine originally came with. Trying to deal with all that would be a nightmare, and those computers are really expensive. Apologies again, guys. I'm having camera issues left and right. Luckily, I caught this one before it got too far in. I've never owned a Bobcat. They had the BOSS system on it, which is what this came with. I'm not sure if I'll be able to bypass any of it or what I'll have to do to get it going. I'll have to look at what does what. Realistically, it should be pretty straightforward. Put one more bolt in that later. Right there. Now we got this hose over here. I believe that goes to right there. Yep. I blew all these fittings out before I started reassembly, but better safe than sorry. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the next day. Hopefully the phone holds up for this part. We now have 8 gallons of hydraulic oil in it, everything hooked up, and it's ready to start it for the first time and see if anything happens. And the parking brake does actually work. So let's see what happens. See if it sprays oil out on us. Now let's get up in there and see what we got. Take the parking brake off. We have drive. Yep, pop that hose. few leaks, kind of as expected. One being from this plug right here, since my pressure sensor has not shown up yet. And several O-rings on these distribution blocks up here. But overall, it does run. The wheels do turn, and it does lift. We do need 2 hoses for that tilt cylinder though. Okay guys, we got to this point right now. New bushings in, linkages are taken care of. Lock nuts on them. Probably should have got a little bit longer of a bolt, but we're real close to the top plate. There's also threads in these linkage arms, so I think we're good. That's just double nutted basically. Hoses are all done. I fixed this seal right here, just a bad O-ring. And this one as well, another bad O-ring. And this one right down here, you can barely see it, that one, was loose. Probably from me wedging my hand down in there doing other things. So, everything's looking good. Now let's get the centering plate on. The more this gets assembled, the more difficult this is to film. Now I got new guides on here. Those were quite difficult to find. The only place I could get them was from the dealer. They weren't expensive, it just was difficult to find them. There we are. Centering plate is in. Now I'll just put the spring and nut on in a second. I need 3 hands for that, so I'll bring you back when I get that done. Okay, we got it in. Now we got to get these linkages centered. To do so, we get it running and loosen these and tap them over until the wheels stop moving, basically, on both sides. Bring you back when it's time to do that. Let's get the steering levers in. Got everything cleaned up and painted off that parts machine. Oh, there goes my 14 mil. There. Hey guys, welcome back. Today's a very important moment, a year in the making. We're about to pull this formerly scrap Bobcat out of the garage, see if it moves for the first time, and pressure wash the entire thing. Let's get to work. Well, let's get this thing started up. Hey guys, apologies. I didn't realize my microphone was dying when I pulled the machine out of the garage. It drives good, it steers just as it should, but there is a really bad wheel bearing on the left-hand front. That's going to get its own individual video. The hydraulics are extremely smooth. That means that factory defective pump was able to get back in working order, thankfully. This machine is way smoother than the other two I have. Still needs a ton of work, but compared to how it was when we got it, it's like a different machine. Okay, we're gonna degrease all the areas that I wasn't able to scrub all that good down in the belly pan, considering we leaked quite a bit of oil before I changed those O-rings. I used the oven cleaner. This stuff is a lifesaver. Way cheaper than degreaser and works better. Just don't use this stuff inside. It is toxic. Now let's get to pressure washing. This is the cab. Gonna take a ton of work to get this back in good shape, but it's doable. Pulling this out of the garage finally. I'll work on this outside. Got a lot of sanding to do. Let's get this cab on the back of the truck so it's easier to work on. This machine has come an extremely long way from how it was when I got it. The next thing I have to do is I'm actually going to pull this main distribution valve out and reseal it. There's a couple more leaks down there. I noticed that when I was driving it around. Everything else seems good. Hydraulics are smooth, which means that hydraulic pump that we mended is working perfect. With the exception of this distribution block right here, there's no other leaks. Oh yeah, I gotta get new hoses made for that cylinder. As obviously, they ain't doing so hot no more. That new pump was able to pop those lines at idle. We just hit 319 subscribers. Honestly, I didn't think anybody would watch my videos. I'm not a very talkative person. I just like to work on things and see what I can get going. I've been doing this for years. This Bobcat I'm sitting in right now, the burnt one, is the biggest project I've ever taken on. I didn't know if it was going to be above my head. It's an entirely new ballpark for me dealing with a burnt machine. We have been able to get it going so far. We've gotten a lot done and it's now an operational machine. For the most part, it runs, moves, boom goes up and down. We got to rebuild the cab on it, but compared to everything else, that's not a big deal. I really appreciate you guys sticking through and watching these videos. It's a big motivation booster for me keeping projects moving. Just wanted to mention that and say thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.